Live now. And oh, look, wow, we've already got a bunch of folks waiting for us in the chat room, which is amazing. Hi everyone.
That's good.
Welcome to the live stream today for April 1st, Apple's 50th anniversary. I know everyone is excited to hear the surprise announcement we have today. And you'll probably notice, we were just having a little connection issue a moment ago. You'll probably notice that I am not at my office studio again. Around 11:30 this morning, internet went out and came back after about 10 minutes, but texted my wife and I said, "What do you think?" And she said, "I wouldn't trust it." And I said, "No, I don't trust it either." So I got in the car, booked home, got reset up here, and we're ready to go. Wow, look who's in there. We've got Pat Fouquet, we've got Barry, two Barrys. We've got Barry M and Barry F. Barry Folk, of course, our friend Barry. And Martine is in there, which is amazing. Brett, okay. Oh, cool. I think we are ready to get started. So, yeah, welcome. We have got a bunch to cover today, including the surprise one more thing that I teased everybody with, an announcement I've been teasing, and I'm going to get to that in just a moment. But I did want to remind everyone, if you have a question about Macstock, or you have a question for me or our guest who's going to be joining us, preface that question with a Q in the YouTube chat so that I can filter it down and get to just the questions. And we'll go through those in just a minute. Now, rumors have been abounding. And now I know how Apple feels, right? They want to keep everything under wraps until the big reveal. And people have been guessing. When I sent out the last newsletter, some fun guesses for what the announcement was going to be came from Gary A., who guessed, "I, for one, am hoping it is all Gaz." Now, see, I don't know if he means Gazmaz, or if he means Gaz him. You know, Gaz is a nickname for Gary, so maybe it's going to be all Garys in his mind. Could be. I don't know. We'll find out. And Bob W. was convinced he knew the answer when he replied, Ooh, call on me. I know the answer. Tim Cook will be speaking at Macstock and will be bringing an iPhone Fold for each attendee, right?" Well, then he says, maybe not an iPhone Fold, but surely a trunk full of MacBook Neos. I guess we're about to find out. Hey, Roger. I see Roger in the chat room as well. No fooling. No, that's a good point, Roger. This is not an April Fool's joke. I promise you. I said that in the newsletter. This is not an April Fool's joke. This is the real thing. Last episode? I'm so used to podcasting. Last live stream, I kicked off the live stream talking about the Computer History Museum special, Apple at 50. And that was hosted by David Pogue, and it featured the likes of John Scully and Jonathan Rubinstein and several others. And if you've not caught that special, I highly encourage you to check it out for no other reason than to hear a new song parody that celebrates Apple's 50th anniversary, sung by none other than the host of the Apple at 50 special, David Pogue, who, by the way, just happened to release a fantastic new book called Apple: The First 50 Years. And again, as I said, April 1st. Apple's 50th anniversary is today. And I am excited to say that we are bringing a bit of that experience, a bit of that Computer History Museum experience to Macstock this summer. And here to help share that news is Mr. David Pogue. Hi, David. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Am I your one more thing then? Am I the surprise?
You are the surprise. Yeah, you are Macstock's one more thing. Yeah.
Well, I'm deeply honored. I mean, what a perfect place for me to go this summer. What a perfect year for you to have Macstock. What a great place for us to all gather and hash some stuff out.
Yes, and I am beyond excited that we can make this announcement today. just as a little teaser, David is going to be joining us Friday night at Macstock for what I think we're calling, right? We're going to call this an evening with David Pogue, which I think is going to be just a blast. Before we get to that, I think we might want to mention how that came about. Now, it turns out that we were both invited to attend an Apple Worldwide User Group University meeting to talk about our projects. And my project, of course, was Macstock. And you, well, I mentioned it a moment ago, but I'm going to let you tell us about your project, David.
Well, yeah, I've spent 2 years working on this. This is the book. It is Apple the First 50 Years, and I must say it is not just my book. It is now my New York Times best-selling book.
Amazing.
I try to work that into conversation when I can. And it's 600 pages. It's in color because, like, honestly, you're not going to put out a book about the iMac and the iPhone in black and white. Like, that would be absurd. And yeah, I'm very proud of it. I interviewed 150 people. There's 360 color photos. And honestly, getting the rights to those photos was almost as much work as writing the book. Um, but I'm very pleased with the result. And I'm very confident that I set a lot of records straight, dispelled a lot of myths, and told a lot of news stories that have not been told before. So I was trying to think how could I bring this book to the attention of the people who care the most about it? And it turns out there used to be an Apple website directory of all the Mac user groups,
Yeah.
and it's defunct. And I contacted, tried to find New York Mac user group, all my old favorite user groups, Boston, they're gone. But a few of them seem to be still active. And I was contacting the Portland Mac user group guy, and I asked him, is there a master list somewhere of the surviving groups? And he said, well, I'll tell you what, tomorrow night is this sort of summit of the presidents of all the surviving Apple user groups. And that's
Yeah.
where you and I met, Mike.
Yeah.
You guys invited me to join you for Zoom and over Zoom, and there it was.
Yeah. So a huge, huge thanks to AWUGU. Again, that's the Apple Worldwide User Group University for inviting us both to the meeting. That was very, very generous of them to allow me to come on and talk about Macstock. But it's also where we met, as you just said, David. It's where we met, and a few days later hatched our evil plan to bring you to Macstock this summer. Now, as I said, we're not planning a traditional presentation session as such. Pretty much when we had our conversation, I think it went along the lines of, what would you like to do? I'm handing Macstock stage over to you. That's pretty much how it went. I had the rough idea in my head of calling it an evening with David Pogue, or rather, it probably was my wife's idea because she's much smarter at these kind of things than I am. But we had the idea of calling it an evening with David Pogue, and I said, do with it what you will. So do you mind if I hand it over to you to talk about that just a bit? Now, do you have any ideas for it yet, or any ideas you can share yet? Or are we going to keep
absolutely.
those under wraps?
I would like, first of all, handing it over to me completely is like music to my ears because I would very much like to just have the time and make it entertaining. So I'm anticipating doing a very lively, very funny, entertaining slideshow, video show through the life of Apple in
Wow.
its first 50 years. But the part that will, I think, make it memorable is some of you may know this is not my first career. My first career, I was a Broadway conductor. I was a musician in the orchestra pits. And I have this habit of writing song parodies about Apple. So I am going to intersperse songs at the piano with my talk. It's going to be basically Apple the musical. And
That's
you guys
amazing.
you guys will be the lucky recipients. And then we'll open it up to questions or just chatting, whatever you want to do.
And before I forget, I want to take people over to your website. This is applefirst50.com. applefirst50.com. And you can see here that, of course, Apple the first 50 years is right on top. But there are some real nuggets buried on this site. And if you don't mind, I'm going to share these with folks, David. As we scroll down through the site, of course, there's, some wonderful reviews of the book, including from the likes of Guy Kawasaki. That's pretty cool. And then right here is that aforementioned brand new song parody that was debuted. I think this was debuted, right, at the Computer History Museum.
That's right. I
Yeah.
was still tweaking it that afternoon. Very risky.
Well, I have to say I agreed with a lot of the things, and I was clapping along with it as I was watching this. So, especially the Siri comment. But we'll let folks watch the video and see for themselves. But we have the Apple song parody, and then in the grand tradition of opening up new Apple hardware, there is on this website an unboxing ceremony, as I call them, an unboxing ceremony for the book. So, right, if you scroll down under the book has landed, there is a brand new package shipped directly from, I think you said directly from Simon & Schuster here, of copies of your book. And yeah, like I said, folks, I don't know, I still do this. Do you still do this, David? I still do this. When I get new Apple gear, I have to take photos or video of the unboxing. It's just this thing that started way back when, and I still do it. So I have all these photos gathered in my photo library of various unboxings of my Apple hardware. And yes, I keep the boxes, as your song
I know nobody
asks.
throws away Apple boxes. I mean, they put so much work into those boxes. Why would you throw them away?
I know. I don't know where to put them, but I have all these wonderful Apple boxes. Even the refurbished Apple gear, they're still beautiful boxes, so I keep them. But yeah, there's an unboxing there as well. So that sounds fantastic. Apple the Musical. I couldn't ask for anything more fun for really what is going to be wrapping up the first day of Macstock. I probably didn't mention that. This is going to be Friday night. So July 10th, the first night of Macstock, we're going to have all of our talks during the day. And then in the evening, around 7:30 or so, we'll get this on the schedule. We'll bring out David for an evening with David Pogue. And what we now know is Apple the Music, little Q&A session. Barry in the chat here says that he also has a closet full of Apple boxes. So, yeah. Oh, thank you, Craig. That is really, let's share that as well. Craig shared Macstock worth the price of admission just for this. That's really awesome. Thanks, Craig. Oh,
Mike, how are you doing this? How do you do all the cool stuff with the split screen and bringing in the chat comments? Do you have some special rig?
this is not a special rig. In fact, this is software that, I might as well go ahead and promote this because they are my partners for Macstock, is Ecamm. Ecamm, it used to be up until yesterday, it was called Ecamm Live was the software, and it's kind of a video production studio all wrapped up in this piece of software that runs on a Mac. It is a Mac-only application, and they're partnering with Macstock this year to do what they are calling a creator camp. So their creator camp is going to be on Thursday, July 9th, and it's because it's Macstock, they are calling this Creator Camp Mac Edition, and it's not, it's of course going to be a lot of focus on their software and things like that, but it's also going to be from the perspective of Mac users and how to kind of get the most of not only their software, but these little aluminum and glass devices in front of us as well. So yeah, it really is amazing software, and I started using it a number of years ago, and really started getting the hang of it about 2 or 3 years ago, and I'm still learning.
I want your viewers to know that was not a setup.
It was not
I
a
had
setup.
no idea you had a financial relation. I literally wanted to know how you're doing this.
In truth, it's not. Well, look, I'm an open book. It's not really a financial relationship. Last year they did sponsor Macstock. That's true. This year, it's kind of their own thing, and it's really just a matter of bringing some new, fresh faces to Macstock's attendees. So we're hoping to incorporate some of their, what they call the Ecamm fam, with what I will generously borrow from their Ecamm fam and say the Macstock fam, or our Macstock community, kind of to grow that community with some of theirs as well. And it's a perfect fit. It really is. They're being a Mac only application. It's just a really nice fit for Macstock itself. So I've been just thrilled to partner with them the last few years, and they're wonderful, wonderful people. So yeah, Ecamm. Well, as of yesterday, it just so happens that yesterday they had their live stream, and their live stream announced not only a rebranding for the company, but also a rebranding for their software. So it's no longer called Ecamm Live. It's now just called Ecamm. And, the truth is we were all just calling it Ecamm anyway. So they said, well, we give up. We're just going to call it Ecamm. But yeah, that's what it is. And yeah, David's right. This wasn't a setup, but it did give us an opportunity to talk about Creator Camp, because that's taking place July 9th in partnership with Macstock, which will be the 10th, 11th, and 12th. So yeah. Now, there is one other thing to mention, and this is pretty cool. In addition to the Apple the Musical Q&A, whatever the heck we end up doing, we're going to have a book signing. And this is pretty cool. To thank David and to help support his trip out to Macstock, what we're going to do is we're going to have a book signing after his evening with David Pogue on Friday night. And the books that for that signing are going to be pre-sold as of today. They're available right now on the Macstock website, pre-sold through the Macstock website, as well as on-site Macstock weekend. And I'll just go ahead and say again, open book here, to make that happen, we've been working with a local independent bookstore that has committed to reserving something like 15 to 20 boxes of David's books. They confirmed with me this morning they are on reserve as of today. So they will be available to Macstock attendees at a special pre-order price for the book signing. And the way this is going to work is I've got a special, here, I'll just pull it up again on the Macstock site. I've got a special Apple, the first 50 years book signing edition.
37 bucks?
30.
Wow, dude, this is a $50 book.
It's a $50 book.
What are you, Amazon here?
I wish. No, we're not Amazon, but this is 25% off. 25% off the cover price. And yeah, this is a pre-order pricing, by the way. So in order to make it work for the independent bookstore, we've worked it out so that we can get these books on reserve, allow you guys to pre-order them at this special price, and then we're not going to ship them to you. They are going to be available for you on site at Macstock. So we're going to deliver them to Macstock, as it were. And then for the book signing, you just come on up and we'll have a list of who pre-ordered them. And if you didn't pre-order one, we'll have copies available on site as well. It won't be quite as good of a discount. I'll just go ahead and say that up front. But if you can pre-order it, that's really where you're going to get the best pricing. So that, for folks who want to know, is actually on the Macstock site. If you go to the Macstock shop, and then actually if you just go to the Macstock shop, it'll be probably the first thing there, or one of the first things there. There it is, right there. One of the first things there, but I also have it under collectibles. So if you go under collectibles there, it is the first thing. You can go ahead and order that. No real limit to the number of copies, because we worked it out so that if we need to add more on, we can add more on. So we're ready to go. We're ready for a big book signing for you, David.
Well, on behalf of the Pogue Children College Fund, I thank you.
Right. Yeah. And so, no, we're not Amazon, but working with the bookstore, we were able to get a good pre-order price, and that is That is great. So I think the only thing, and we didn't get a chance to talk about this ahead of time, and I think we'll be trading some emails and whatnot in the weeks ahead, and just figure out the best way to make this work. But depending on the number of people, keep in mind that we've never done this before at Macstock. So I've never really run a book signing. I've been involved with book signings. I've never been the person responsible for the book signing. So this is going to be new to me, but was kind of thinking, depending on the number of people who pre-purchase the books. And again, remember, pre-purchasing this book does help support David's travels out to Macstock. So that is one of the reasons we're doing that. But if you're doing more than two or three, coming through the line more than two or three, we might ask you to go through the line a second time, just so that we can not have too many people waiting. I don't know how you feel about that, David. We haven't really talked about it.
Yeah, if you're buying two or three, you deserve the time.
Oh, there you go. All right. That rule has just been codified by Mr. Pogue. If you're buying more than two or three, come on through the line. All right. Excellent. And then, as I said, you do want to pre-order them, because the books will be a bit more on site, and that's just logistics. They're going to be a little bit more. Let's see. I'm going to go through and see if we have... by the way, I should also mention, pre-ordering them. Also make sure, and this is something that David and I did talk about last week, or when we spoke, we want to make sure we have enough books for everyone. So by pre-ordering them, we're definitely going to make sure that we have enough books for everyone. So that's the news there. I hope everyone's excited about that as I am. This is going to be super cool. Super cool. Let's see here. All right. I'm going to go through and I'm going to check for questions here. Oh, we do have one. All right. Here we go. This I think is a question for David. Well, it's kind of what we were just talking about. So here we go. This question is from Barry M. And he says, can I bring one and have it signed? So rather than pre-purchasing it, can I bring one and have it signed? My parents are giving me one for my birthday. Actually, that's a really cool birthday present.
Yes, but it will cost you $37.50 for the signature. No, I'm just kidding. Yes, of course. Please get the book from any source you want. I'll be delighted to meet you and delighted to sign them.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. And then Barry, let's see, is this Barry 1 or Barry 2? It's the second question, but it's the second Barry, and it's our friend Barry Folk, of course. If I cannot make it Friday, can I get David to sign it anyway? Well, I guess you'd have to be there.
Yeah, I figured I'd stay over Friday night and leave maybe midday Saturday to go home. So as long as you're around then, happy to do it.
There you go. All right. Yeah, and that that's part of it too. I know just from our communications, this is an incredibly crazy time for you. I mean, you're still on the first leg of your book signing, are you not? Or not book signing, your book tour.
It's probably soon going to wind down. I have a few more stops ahead, but the last 3 weeks have been crazy, and I've done three. I did today, because today is the actual anniversary.
Yeah.
I did NBC News and Spectrum News and a podcast all today. So it's soon to get a lot calmer.
NBC News, Spectrum, podcast, and Macstock. Wow, that I'm incredibly honored you could make it here today. And we talked about it.
And I should also say, sorry, CNN. I did an interview with them a couple weeks ago that was supposed to be part of a special about Apple's first 50 years, but instead, or in addition, what they dropped today was they posted the entire 45-minute interview with me.
Holy cow!
If you go to YouTube and just search for CNN David Pogue Apple, you'll find it. And I think it's one of the ones I'm proudest of. The guy Bill Weir the host, really had done his homework and asked some really thoughtful questions. So that's out
Wow.
there now.
So that's out there now. You can find it on YouTube, and it was CNN, you said?
Yep. Yep.
Wow, 45 minutes. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So
It's
I,
good stuff.
I, I do want to be very cognizant of your time. I mean, you've been generous to come here and join us today for Apple's 50th anniversary and for this announcement. I'm super excited to have you out at Macstock. I only have a couple other quick announcements here to make. So early bird pricing, right? Early bird pricing was to end yesterday, but to help celebrate 50 years of Apple and the fact that we are only just now announcing our An Evening with David Pogue the day after early bird was supposed to end. What I'm going to do is extend the early bird sale for 5.0 business days. Get it? 5.0, 50? Yeah, okay. All right, dad joke. But 5.0 business days. So if we say business days, it works out great because that allows me to extend it by a week through April 8th. So if you've not yet purchased your weekend pass or your Creator Camp Plus Macstock weekend pass, you have 5.0 business days to get that early bird rate. So it's been extended one more week. So that'll be great for everyone, especially since I had just 2 new ticket sales last night, and one of them came after it was supposed to end, but I already decided to extend it. So that kind of helped solidify the decision that maybe I should let it go a little bit longer, especially now that we can tell people we have an evening with David Pogue. As I said, Macstock dates be taking place July 10th, 11th, and 12th. And it'll be back again at the Alara Conference Center at the Holiday Inn in Crystal Lake. Generally each day, check-in will begin about 8. We'll wrap each day by 6 or so. We have our evening activities, Evening with David Pogue on Friday. We've got Marty's Super Session on Saturday evening. And actually, Ecamm is going to be doing, what do they call it? They call it a campfire evening for their Creator Camp Thursday night. And I told them my only requirement is they can't actually build a fire in the hotel. That's against the rules. But if you're going to Creator Camp, they're going to be having an evening activity as well. So Creator Camp will be July 9th, Macstock July 10th, 11th, and 12th. Weekend passes and the Creator Camp plus Macstock Bundle Pass are going to be on early bird through April 8th. And I'm going to check and see if there are any other questions before we wrap up here. Did you have anything else to add, David? I kind of took over
No,
at the
only
end
that
there.
I'm thrilled to join you. I'm not Tim Cook with a wagon full of MacBook Neos. However,
Just as well.
Tim Cook doesn't sing. So there's that.
Wouldn't that be amazing to see? But then again, scary as well. Yeah, I don't think I'd necessarily want to see that. But I am looking forward to David Pogue singing. That's going to be super exciting. What might we have? Might we have a Macstock original, or is this going to be like a greatest hits? Maybe that's a
Uh,
spoiler. I don't know.
I mean, maybe I might be. I mean, the brand new one is what I wrote for Apple's 50th, and
Yeah,
that might have to be the finale. But
that
we'll think about it.
that might have to be the finale. And if anyone wants to see it right now, you can go to applefirst50.com. And actually, it was part of the Computer History Museum broadcast as well, wasn't it? Yeah.
That's right.
Yep. So that's that. All right. Well, I don't see any more questions. We did have some good questions, but that is the news. That's the one more thing, everyone. We've got an evening with David Pogue for Friday, July 10th. We're going to have a book signing to follow that. And the books are available at a special price right now through the Macstock site at macstockconferenceandexpo.com. Go click through to the shop and you can pick up your copies. And it does say on there, it will not be shipped to you. They will be available for you to pick up at Macstock the evening of the signing. So that is everything. Unless you had anything more to add, David, I think I think that's going to do it for this time. Now with Creator Camp joining us on Thursday, July 9th, Marty's Troubleshooting Super Session on Saturday evening, and an evening with David Pogue on Friday. Plus, I mean, who can forget 3 full days of amazing talks from some of the best minds all throughout the Apple community. Our 10th year of Macstock, and again, this is going to be our 10th anniversary of Macstock. Our 10th year of Macstock is going to be a celebration I'm going to remember for years to come. Thank you so much, David, for joining me today. I really appreciate you being here.
We appreciate it too. This will be great.
And thanks to all of, well, I should probably get rid of the cue here. Thanks to all of you. Yes, all of you right out there watching live right now. Thanks to all of you for joining me today. I'm going to be back with more live streams. We'll do another one a little bit later on to talk about the schedule and some of our final speaker selections. So watch for news on that soon. And in the meantime, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you at Macstock. Bye, everyone.